what happened in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix weekend. Right, first of all, I know what you're all going to say. I'm late. I'm late to this video. Fine, I'm late to this video. But let's just hold the horses, right? Let's just relax for a second, right? Because I have an explanation. Hear my explanation. First of all, we won the friggin' OCC, so let's relax. I have been celebrating with the boys on games. It's been a great little time. Big up McLaren, most successful team in XRS, confirmed, right? First of all, that's just the first reason. Second of all, I'm going on to wheel. The wheel has arrived, the rig has arrived. If you watched my clips, right, you have never seen someone so slow in their life, right? I've raced with a couple of the boys, and I'm also very dangerous. I think I pride myself in XRS for being one of the more safer and consistent drivers in the league. That has gone all out the window in the last 2 days. I am now the most dangerous person on track. So if you're racing with me, just watch out, okay? I don't really know how to turn the car. Like braking, I feel I'm doing my best, right? I might sometimes press the wrong button, but braking doesn't always come naturally to me, okay? That's that. Thirdly, the World Cup's on. England's bringing it home. Just fuck Ireland and fuck Scotland. I'll swear on this podcast because it's mine, right? All of you, shut up. And you know exactly who you are, Kiernan, right? Shut up. Hey, so a lot's been going on the last few days. I do apologise for this being late. In return for it being late, I think I will start setting myself some more targets for next season. You know, make myself a more... also, I've got a fourth reason. Hold the phone, right? Fourth reason, I've got a new job. So I work that Mondays and Tuesdays are a very busy day for me. So, you know, recording's difficult. So, 4 reasons. Is that good enough? It is good enough, right? So let's all relax. I will start setting myself more boundaries, more kind of like an actual scheduled routine to recording this podcast. I'm thinking, because it's, you know, a cheeky little bit of alliteration, we'll call it Tizza Tuesdays. Tizza Tuesdays is when XRS Plus will come out. Tizza Tuesdays is going to be everyone's favourite day, okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to move forward with Tizza Tuesdays. Right. Or could we do Tikka Masala Tuesdays? That does have a bit of a ring to it. Oh, right. Everyone put in comments or DM me. Oh, no, don't DM me. Actually, put in the comments. Do you prefer Tikka Masala Tuesdays or Tizza Tuesdays? You guys tell me and we'll run with it. Right. What a weekend. What an incredible weekend. What an incredible OCC fight. And we expected nothing less from a 6-round season and a 6-round season where there's no dominating team. I went over this last week. Ferrari have had a Huna. Key has got left Red Bull. It opened the door for a brand new fight. And the fight included Williams. Like, what is going on in XRS in Season 8? I haven't put into my big spreadsheet the results yet. I also haven't done budgets yet. So I'm gonna make another podcast. It's probably gonna come out on the weekend. I'm gonna say Saturday, about budgets and about where the teams are looking for the future. We've also got a lot of new management going on, a lot of teams which we'll go over today. But a lot of exciting things are going on in XRS. First of all, massive congratulations to all my friends, my boys in McLaren. We did it. It got very close. We had an incredible Division 5 and Division 4. Well done, Kiernan and Karma, for slapping up Div 5. Then it kind of went downhill with a Div 3. Div 2, obviously, I'm on my own. And, you know, I mean, Koi bottled, but 2v1 is always difficult. And then Division 1, Casper bringing it home with Ransdale. That was fantastic. But it was very close. I also want to say a massive congratulations to Mill, Red Panda, and Lasserdon. Mill, I mean, he needs no introduction. He's one of, if not the best team principal in the league. He's won so much. And he's in this journey with Mercedes. They're going to be growing. If we're being real, as we know now that Ransdale's dropped TP, this McLaren season was just a legacy season, as I'll go into in a minute. I think we all know that Mercedes are going to be a real OCC threat for a long time now. So it was nice to beat Mill while we still can, in that kind of sense, you know what I mean? Because I think Mercedes are going to be a front-running team for a long time in XRS. So, well done, Mill. I mean, he's shown what he can do with a couple of seasons under his belt and some great drivers being brought to his team. Well done to Red Panda. I didn't expect Red Panda to be anywhere near where he was. I think we all kind of underestimated VCarb. I think it's a little pulled because of Paul Diver and Callum Ansell. He's picked a lot of really solid drivers that just couldn't be moved into a higher division because of a short season. But nevertheless, I mean, he's made some perfect choices. So well done, Red Panda. I think VCarb and Red Panda could be a potential OCC threat for the future. Definitely a team to be looking out for. And of course, well done to Lasserdon. I mean, I was a massive fan of Lasserdon back when he was in his V-Carb TP. He did a fantastic job. He brought home a trophy as well. He won the Division 5 championship with Georgia. By the way, in a very competitive scene. Like, that wasn't XRS like it is now. That was XRS when there was domination going on in the divisions, right? That was like in prime McLaren domination. No one was winning anything except for McLaren and occasionally Ferrari. And V-Carb managed to get a trophy. That's really impressive. And then, of course, this season, Lasserdon's come through with Williams, and he's won a trophy. Won the first Williams trophy ever. That is so impressive with the Division 3 Constructors. I think that's so good. He nearly won Division 1 Constructors as well, which is incredibly impressive. And I'd argue, as a team principal, Constructors is more difficult to win because you're relying on 2 drivers as opposed to 1. So well done, Lasserdon. I think Williams have got a very bright future ahead of him. He is now 100% the most successful Williams team principal. That'll be added to my spreadsheet, which I'll go over in the Saturday podcast, all this kind of stats and statistics. I'll give you guys some, but obviously it's not updated completely. But well done, Lasserdon. Well done to the whole team principals. I think I'll go through all the teams individually at the end of this podcast. It's going to be a long one, I already know, and I've got a race in an hour, so I'm going to have to speak quick. But we'll get straight stuck in. So well done to all the team principals. That is very impressive. In terms of team principals leaving, obviously we've got Ransdale leaving. This McLaren season was just a legacy season. Bring some of the old names back. Continue to push one last time to try and get the most successful team again, given to Papaya, and we managed to do that very successfully. McLaren are now the most successful team in XRS. We have 20. Sorry, there's bikes going past my window. Fucking hell. McLaren now have 20. Oh no, hang on. It's 23 trophies before the season. Ferrari had 26. Now McLaren won both in Division 5. Sorry. They won My Drivers and they won Constructors in Division 1 as well as OCC, so 5 more. Yeah, so McLaren's on 28, so the most successful team in XRS. That was the point of the season. It was just a legacy season, get some more trophies. Ransdale has done an incredible job as TP. He's now one of the most successful now because of these last 2 seasons, so there we go. Very well deserved. The other management changes we are seeing for this season, obviously Gone to the Moon has dropped it from Alpine. I think that was no surprise. Gone to the Moon's a good TP. He made one tiny little error and that completely changed his season upside down. That amongst also his drivers just not performing at all. They'd all given up. And it's led to the weakest season, the worst season we've ever seen in any team ever. And it's just unlucky. It's just really unfortunate he's forgotten. So unfortunately Gone to the Moon has dropped it. I hope he comes back as a TP. I really do, because he's a good TP. He just made that slight error. And Alpine are now really in the mud. So we'll have to see. Whoever goes to TP next season, they can pull them out. By the way, as of recording, it's the 18th of June. None of the team principals have been decided at all. So this is completely new for us. Obviously, we've got Cadillac, which will get the first management. Cadillac has been a really popular TP to go for, by no surprise. Obviously, you want to be the one that starts the legacy off with a brand new team. Who knows when we're going to get a whole new team coming to XRS, or to F1, I should say. So that's a big opportunity for people. And the other team that's dropped TP was Aston Martin. Aston Martin, Kickstrom, I believe, has received an offer from another team and has valued it higher than being a team principal. Aston Martin had it started quite strong, but by the end of the season, it was a very kind of invisible season. No one was really looking at Aston Martin. So, and honestly, I can't hold it to him. That's often what we see with Aston Martin. They've never been a strong team, really. They had peaks, they had moments in season 6 where they were bringing themselves up to the front, but I wouldn't say they were a front team. And this season was no different. So, Aston Martin, we'll see where the management goes. Aston Martin have got a lot of money. So if a new team principal wants money, then Aston Martin would be the way to go, or McLaren, obviously. Cadillac will probably be looking to start their budget at 500k, 500 mil, sorry, but don't quote me on that. That is a completely random number and guess that I've made up. And then obviously Alpine have no money whatsoever. So whoever takes that TP job, massive respects to them. I'm going to be a massive fan of you, and I'm going to be shouting you out on every podcast and everything you do, because I'm on the Alpine hype train of praying that they're going to find themselves up anywhere higher than 11th next season, because they're going to finish 11th. I think we can already confirm they're not going to be able to fill their seats, but there we go. The final thing I want to say before we get stuck in, this is the long-ass intro, isn't it? I am officially leaving McLaren. It was a decision that I made, like I said earlier, with Ransdale. Initially, Ransdale was going to drop team principal at the end of last season. him taking TP in season 7 was very similar to how I took it in season 5. We both have a love for the team. We both have been a McLaren for a long time. We didn't want the TP to fall into the hands of someone who just can't do it as well as us, and the team dropped to the midfield. We couldn't imagine it would drop to the midfield. So we decided to pick our own future. Take McLaren TP, or obviously he took McLaren TP, I was ATP last season, for one final time, one last legacy season, give it absolutely everything we've got to finish the McLaren dynasty that has been in XRS since season 3. And we did it. We won 5 trophies, brought McLaren up to the front, and that has been a perfect moment for us to call it quits and leave. So I've known I was leaving McLaren since the start of this season, but I kind of kept it quiet. I don't know where, before people are going to start guessing as like, oh, he's been offered a deal, that's why he's left. No, I was going to leave regardless. I have received a few offers, very, very interesting offers. I appreciate all the offers I receive. Because I'm moving on to wheel, I don't know what division I'm going to be. I know I'm going to be slower. But a lot of team principals have offered coaching and stuff, which I really, really appreciate. I still, as a recording, have absolutely no idea where I'm going to go. So, TPs, hit me up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm out here, so difficult leaving McLaren. It's weird because I have been at McLaren since season 4. That's 2 years ago. That's nearly 2 years ago. And that's a long time. And for me, I don't know about everyone else obviously listening to this, for me, being a head admin, XRS is actually quite a big part of my life. So, and I've met so many people through McLaren, so many great friends I've met through McLaren. We're just boys now in chat. Ransdal being one of them, the reason I'm so great friends with Ransdal is because, obviously I brought him into XRS initially, but the reason we're so close now is because we were teammates in season 4. So to say goodbye to McLaren, very, very weird. Very weird that I'm not going to be driving with McLaren anymore. But whoever takes team principal spot, you've been left with an incredible team with so much history and a lot of money as well. So I hope you do your very best to bring in that team up and continuing the incredible history they've got. I will always be a McLaren fan in XRS. They are the most impressive team we've ever seen and we will ever see. Moving on though to Division 5, let's actually get, you know what I'm going to do before we even move on to Division 5, I'm going to write down how long this intro took, so just so people can skip it if they want to. 12 minutes 25 seconds. Not to worry, boys, don't you worry, I won't make you listen to my yap. We're going to move to Division 5, where the top 3 was Karma, Kiernan and Will. Great race, certainly from my point of view, because I was commentating and it was a McLaren 1-2, which is a great way to finish, to start the weekend off in a very, very close division. The OCC at this point, before Division 5, I think was about 40 points between McLaren to, it would have been VCarb in 4th at this point, or maybe Williams. Red Bull, not far away either. Red Bull were just outside that reach. In fact, actually, after Division 5, they closed in a bit because they finished 3 and 4. But I don't think they were really in the OCC fight by the end. They were very close. They might have picked up a 4th or maybe a 3rd, but 5th is still very impressive. Getting a 1-2, that was massive points, especially with Mercedes and VCarb scoring just okay points. It was a P5 and a P7 for VCarb, P8, P9 for Mercedes. So very positive on our side. My driver winner, it has to be McLaren for God's sake. 1-2. Karma finally getting his win after getting a streak of P2s. With Gordon not performing, Don Parry getting moved up. Karma, the door was open for him to win the drivers. And constructors confirmed as well. Keenan, who has been in XRS since the start, never won a trophy. He is now finally on the trophy list. He's won a Constructors' Championship. Well done, Kiernan. But I've given my driver winner to the whole of McLaren. My driver losers. I've gone for 2, and I can't really decide which. I feel a bit mean going for Sauber, because realistically, they were on the back foot in his Constructors when Don Parry left. To be fair to Aero, he stepped up. He stepped up to be the main man and did very, very well. Got the strategy wrong. Hard, medium was never going to be the way to go. Plus a spin, and that dropped him down to 10th. Probably could have won the race if not finished on the podium, and that would have given Sauber a much better shot at the Constructors. But I don't think it was really on with the pace of Kiernan and Karma going into that race, and with Don Parry not being there. So it feels a bit harsh to give them driver loser. Maybe specifically Aero. The team I've actually gone for is Alpine. I don't understand why they were fighting each other. Like, they were pushing each other off track and stuff. Clearly, there's just no care in that team anymore. Like, they just know they're not going to fight or win anything, so they're just battling each other. Alpine, in this division, I'll give you a fun fact, ladies and gentlemen. Alpine finished the constructors on -3 points. This is the first time, I believe, in XRS history that a team has finished in negative points in the constructors without, as in, with a penalty at the start of the season, not the end of it. Some teams have taken a 50-point deduction at the end of the season. This was at the start, and they weren't able to bring the gap back. That is wild. And I'm pretty sure it was 25 points, right, in this division. So they weren't, so 25. So they ended up scoring 22 points, which would have put them 9th. So not exactly much better either. So Alpine, I'm going to give it to Alpine. That is really unfortunate. Sauber, in fact, actually dropped to 3rd behind Red Bull. I mean, I rate Worldwide. I think Worldwide's an incredible driver in that division. Will is very consistent as well. So they ended up overtaking them by 2 points. Unlucky by Sauber, but I have a lot of good things to say about Sauber later on in the podcast, so stick around for that. But I'm going to give it to Alpine, driver loser, because I think it's a bit harsh to give it to Sauber based on how they did. We're going to move on to Division 4 with the top 3. I actually haven't prepared it. Whoopsies, I'm just talking to my phone for no reason. The top 3 was Pool Diver, Whale, and Salty. I mean, VCARB has just dominated this division. And in fact, this division is the reason why VCARB have been anywhere near the OCC. I'll give my driver winner to Pool Diver. I mean, for God's sake, that season was incredible. It's fair to say he was in the wrong division. It was a too short season to fix it. He would never have seen the light of day in Division 4 past mid-season if it was a normal size season. But I mean, he did 4 races, so 4 out of 6 of the races, and he won 3 of them and finished P2 in Monza. That is ridiculous. Brother is in the wrong division, but you can't take it away from him. That was still a very well-deserved championship. Salty finishing P3, and that's given them a huge boost in the OCC. In fact, actually, by this part, they must have overtaken Mercedes. So at this point, VCARB would have been 2nd. And maybe even 1st, in fact, actually. They wouldn't have been too far off it. In this season, Pool Diver won with 109 points. Salty, actually, who didn't do that many races, caught up and finished 6th, I think. He did 5 races. Okay, actually did more races than I thought he did. And ended up finishing 6th. So a great replacement. 5th, sorry. A great replacement from the guy who they signed at the start. I can't remember his name. It was like Squig or something. So well done for Red Panda for replacing quite well. McLaren finished 2nd and 7th. Mercedes finished 10th and 11th. So at this point, Mercedes were on the heavy back foot. They needed a good few races to try and bring it back. My driver winner, I'm going to give to Pool Diver. Like I said, I think it's fair to say he just dominated this whole season. He deserves the season winner in this division. My driver losers, there's a lot to give it to. The first one I'm going to give it to, I think Flair and Tycho are the main 2. Obviously, starting up at the front and then picking up punches individually, they couldn't bring him to the end. Tycho ended up finishing 12th, Flair 14th. Another one as well, Vaxi, who did actually pit before he got his puncher, is what I thought in commentary. I've been told he got the puncher as he was going down the pit lane. I didn't see it in commentary. I just assumed they were playing it safe. So Vaxi ended up finishing 11th. That's a huge batch of points gone from Mercedes, unfortunately for them. The other driver loser I would say is Carl, because hard medium was never going to be the strategy, but compare that to a puncher, and I don't think you can compare. So I'm going to say driver loser, I'm going to give it to all 3 of them, Flair, Tycho and Vaxi, all for their own reasons. Flair and Tycho could have won the race, Vaxi because it's Mercedes and they were fighting for an OCC. Actually, no, in hindsight, actually, maybe my driver of the season is Carl, because where has this guy come from? Why is this guy all of a sudden fast? What is going on? Obviously getting dropped from Ferrari, going to Haas, which is one of the worst performing teams in XRS this season, or in fact ever, actually, since season 3 when they dropped off. And he's just been cooking. He finished 2nd in the championship. That is so impressive. So yeah, I reckon Carl's been getting a lot of DMs for next season, and he deserves to be. Get me on a team with Carl. He knows what he's doing, for sure. But I'm going to give my driver losers to Flair, Tycho, and Vaxi. Going to give them all together. And yeah, well done to VCARB for winning the Constructors and confirming it in Division 4. Huge points for them. We move on to Division 3, where the top 3 was Raffi, Thunder, and CGM. What a great season. I was a little disappointed by the end of the season. As I said multiple times last podcast, Division 3 is always the closest, and it wasn't necessarily a close title fight. I mean, Legend of Toth just packed the other guys in with consistency. So well done to Toth. What I also found out, actually, the gap to Toth at the end of the last weekend was 27 points. Technically speaking, right, if I can't remember who was second at the end of the last race. I think it was Bosmius. If Bosmius won Abu Dhabi with pole and Legend of Toth DNF'd, they would have had the same amount of wins. Who had the most second places? Hold the phone. We might have seen an incredible comeback. Legend of Toth has 1 P2. Bosmius has 1 P2 as well. Oh my god, no, he was no. Okay, Legend of Toth still would have won it, just about, with a P3 to his name. But yeah, Legend of Toth actually didn't confirm it last weekend. He did definitely confirm it this weekend. Well done to Legend of Toth, back-to-back championships. One of only 2 drivers to have ever done that. And of course in 2 different divisions as well, which is extra impressive. He's incredibly consistent, but he isn't the man we're going to be talking about in this particular podcast. My driver winner, I'm going to give to Raffi for the main reason of another win to VCARB. So continuing their very high point scoring streak from the day before, and their chase on the OCC. So well done, Raffi, for pole as well. My driver losers I've given to McLaren. I think this is definitely McLaren's weakest lineup. This is the main reason why McLaren struggled so much in the OCC. Liam did the best he could, finished P7. David, quite poor, P11, had no pace really. Did the best they could. I mean, the attendance hadn't really dropped at this point. Division 1 and 2, the attendance heavily dropped because everyone was willing to play the new game. Division 3 was okay. I think it had 16 people, 15 people. Wasn't too bad. My other driver loser I wanted to talk about was Pink. Pink, for those of you who were around back in Season 4, brother dominated in a McLaren in Division 4, absolutely annihilated Division 4. And since then, I guess stopped playing the game. He couldn't do the racing days in Season 5 and 6, I think. So he'd stopped racing. Came back for this season when he could do the day, and I guess expected that he'd had the pace instantly snap straight back in that he had before. You've got to remember, it's a completely different game. You know, Pink never really sweated this game, I don't think. So coming back to this game and hoping that his pace would just appear didn't work. And yeah, I mean, dropping it on his own and DNFing kind of just analyzes Ferrari's whole season. So and now he's lost admin. So there we go. So he's DNF'd in a whole new way. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to McLaren / Ponk. There's a lot of driver losers I'm giving out here, but very, very disappointing. Again, another division where Alpine have finished in the negatives. This time, minus 25. Oh my god, minus 25 points. How on earth has that happened? I don't even blame the Alpine drivers. It's unfortunate on management. But yeah, another division where they finish in the negatives. That is mental. Also, talking about constructors, well done, Williams. Williams becoming the 9th team to win a trophy in XRS. Now, the only remaining team is Aston Martin. Now, that maybe is a pulling factor. We talked about pulling factor of taking Cadillac TP, a brand new legacy. You can build it up on your own. We talked about the pulling factor of McLaren being the most successful team and wanting to continue that streak and having so much money. The pulling factor for Aston Martin may well be that they're the only team in XRS that haven't won a trophy yet. In terms of trophy numbers, now I'll rattle them off now for those of you who also love numbers just like me and love data and stuff like that. Before this season started, because I haven't updated it, Ferrari 26, then McLaren 23, then Haas 7. For those of you who weren't around at XRS season 1, 2, and 3, Haas were actually a big fucking deal, right? Now they're not, but Haas 7, including an OCC, by the way. They won the season 2 OCC. How has that happened, right? Then Red Bull have won 6, Mercedes 3, Alpine 4, sorry. Alpine 4, Mercedes 3, VCARB also 3, Sauber 1, but they were Alfa Romeo at that point, to be fair. And then Aston, Williams, and Cadillac with Zilch. Now Williams have got themselves on the scoreboard. They're drawing with Sauber with 1 trophy to their name. Well done, Williams. Do I think Williams could be a potential OCC threat next season? Probably not. I don't know what their top drivers are going to be in terms of development, helping the drivers. I don't know how much that team talks and communicates and have the kind of same resources and stuff as teams like Mercedes and Ferrari. I'm very, very open to be proven wrong here. If Lassiter rocks up next season with a mega lineup and drivers in the lower divisions who are improving very, very fast, then I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm here for Williams, for the Williams domination. But for me, I just don't see that. I don't see them being able to compete with Mercedes' improvement. I know the people that Mercedes have got in the team in terms of for development stuff who aren't racing. And it's very, very impressive. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to Williams and potentially how they can progress. And a first trophy for them, which is very, very impressive. So well done, Williams. We move on to Division 2, where the top 3, I haven't got it on my screen. It is Yeltsin, Josco, and More Leader. Boys, we freaking did it. Come on, number 4. 4 championship, come on. Yes, so I confirmed the championship in Abu Dhabi. Good stuff. You know, I appreciate you guys. You know, I appreciate the support. You know, want to thank my parents. You know, my mum, my dad. Thank you. You know, all that. I want to thank you know, big Liam 783. You know, for helping me out with the training he's put through me. Yeah. No worries. Right, calm. In terms of the season, that was my worst race easily. Right. So thank God that Powertime didn't show up because I might have actually been screwed. Yeah, in terms of my season, that was definitely my worst race. It's difficult, right? Because when you've got a full lobby, because actually throughout the whole season, I hadn't been outscored by Mercedes in a single race. And this is a 1v2, right? This is the first race they outscored me. But the main part of that is because there was no drivers. So how can I, even if they have a bad race, they're still going to finish like 8th. Like, which leads me on to my driver loser, Koi, because oh my God, my face, I was in a VC with everyone, right? And we were just chatting, looking at the penalties, what's going on in Stewards report. I checked Koi's penalty points, and brother had a quali ban and just forgot. How do you forget you have a quali ban in a title championship deciding moment, right? That is so poor in Mercedes. That realistically is what lost them P2 in the OCC. Koi, goodness gracious me. And you know what? It helped McLaren because I think they both beat me. Bartha Stroy got me on the line, which is so annoying because I locked up because I lost vibration and then brother just drove past me. And I nearly held him as well, but never mind. Koi beat me as well, so it was just a mess of a race. I had no tyre management. My tyres were literally dead, which allowed the V-Carb to run away. Again, V-Carb getting away. So yeah, with driver winner V-Carb, just dipped, right? The 2-stop was obviously a better idea for such a small division, which is why we went for it in Division 1. Josco just had better tyres than me, so he just left because Jojo decided to brake on a straight, which allowed Josco to get away. Sorry. So maybe I could have stayed with P2. I actually pretty sure I could have stayed with P2 because my tyres by the end weren't that bad. I wasn't going to get a puncher because I was major tyre saving to try and back the Mercedes up into the Williams, which didn't work because they all ended up beating me anyway. But yeah, I ended up being coy because he just forgot he had a quali ban and got a 40-second penalty or whatever it was, and then and Hayes had a 3-second penalty because you can never rely on a Williams to beat the Mercedes because all I needed them to do, I backed the Mercedes up for them and they barely outscored them. Okay, right. It was a bad race, guys. It was a bad race, right? It sucks because my last 2 championships, I haven't been able to celebrate, right? Because this one, I was so angry that I lost points for McLaren. At that point in that race, I didn't really care about my drivers. I knew it was confirmed. It was all about McLaren and I lost the position to Bartha Stroy, so I was very annoyed. The season before, I was angry because I didn't know if I won the championship because of a penalty that may or may not come up for Mackie. And then I just got berated in chat for stealing a championship. So I would love to celebrate a championship. That's all I'd like to do, right? Since season 4. But yeah, it was a good season up until then. I still finished P5. I'm going to give my driver winner to V-Carb. I'm going to give my driver loser, major driver loser to Koi, because realistically that's what cost them the OCC position. The main thing I'm happy about actually from that race, the only thing other than winning the championship, is I finished P5. I also started P5, and that continues my incredible streak of this game of the last time I finished a race behind where I started was... It was. I will tell you what race exactly it was. It was Netherlands. It was Netherlands season 6. And that is only because Raven penalised me because I tapped him in the reverse track, right? First of all, reverse tracks you can't race at. So of course I hit him because you can't leave space at a reverse track, right? So I hit him. It gave me a 3-second penalty, which is my 3rd of 4 penalties I've ever had in XRS, right? So that already sucks because I got a penalty out of this race as well. I forgot. Oh my god, no, that was in Belgium. It's okay, right? I hit Raven, and it gave me a 3-second penalty, and it dropped me down to P8, right? So that was the last race that I finished behind where I started in season 6. So I've nearly gone the whole game cycle without going backwards in a race. I think that's quite impressive. Thank you very much, everyone. I know it is, right? But then I picked up a penalty in Belgium, so I got more penalties, I suppose. I've now had 4 penalties in XRS as opposed to 3, which kind of sucks, because I think my consistency has been good in terms of penalties and being safe. However, I'm now on a wheel, and I can tell you, right, the stuff I've done for the people I've done lobbies with, right? I was doing lobbies with Liam and Kian the other day, and when I tell you, I've got a race in a minute. I've got a race in about 20 minutes, right? I'm going to kill someone. In fact, I'm actually kind of tempted to not save the stream, add an extra bit of me talking about how my race went at the end of this podcast, and you can hear, I'm like, yeah, I killed 3 people. But I won't do that because you guys don't want to hear about that. But yeah, the wheel is going to be a crazy, crazy thing. I'm going to become prime terrorist is what's going to happen. But anyway, we've got a tangent here. Driver winner VCarb, driver loser Koyi, have that. Good stuff. And who won the constructors in this division? It wasn't Williams again, surely not. It was Williams again! Oh my, I forgot about this one. They won 2 trophies. I forgot about this one. Williams won 2 trophies. Oh my God, I completely forgot about this. I went on this whole thing about Williams having the same amount of trophies as Sauber. They don't have more. Crazy. Well done, Williams. 2 trophies. And they're both constructors as well. They nearly won Division 1 as well. They nearly won 3 constructors. Oh my Lord. Who did you not realise Williams were about that life, about that winning life? Because I was not aware of this. Crazy. Well done, Williams. I took a moment after that last segment. I obviously, like I said before, I paused the podcast in between each division to get the new numbers up and the new stats up and stuff, right? I took a breathing moment after that segment of podcast. I'm realizing I'm losing my mind, and I'm realizing actually in the Belgium podcast as well, I lose my mind further in as I go as well. I think it's because I'm talking to myself, because you can't really conceptualize the fact that you're recording. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, if you deep it, I am just sat in my room talking to myself. If my mum is listening to the other side of my door, she's gonna think I'm absolutely mental because I'm just talking to myself. And that's why I go so crazy, because this is what people do in prison, right? People sit in prison and they talk to themselves, and that's what makes them go so mental. I'm actually just imprisoning myself in XRS Plus. Sorry, we've gone on a tangent again. Division 1, right? Well, the top 3 was Casper, Callum Ansell, and RTM English. First of all, RTM English not spinning in a race, held it on the podium. Well done, English. Go you, right? Don't know where his paces come from. Brother was Division 5 last time I checked. All he did was rock up to Bahrain in Division 2 and steal some points off me. But anyway, well done. Driver winner, is it even a conversation, right? It is Casper and then there's McLaren, because this race was the race that we confirmed the OCC, and we did it. And I was engineering, and I was so happy to cheer the boys across the line because we did it. What an incredible season for all the 4 teams involved up at the front. Well done to all of us. McLaren was the best. Lol. Driver loser, I have to give it to Neb. It feels a bit harsh, but he did spin himself and give himself wing damage. Did do a pretty good job holding Ransdell off to keep him at P9, to be fair. So actually not too bad from that point of view. But I do have to give it to Neb because he spun himself. And honestly, it was a difficult weekend for Mill and for Mercedes. Can we check on Mill's mental health? Because there's a lot of Mercedes errors this weekend. To be fair, well done, English. English has performed a lot better in this race than I thought he did. I know he was sweating Abu Dhabi, so I know he was preparing for it. But well done. I've just been pinged by Ransdell. Ransdell, if you're listening to this, mate, you just ping me. Leave me alone. I'm trying to record. And I've got a race, but let's relax. Driver winner, Casper and McLaren. Driver loser, Neb. I've been told Alpine... Oh my goodness. I've just looked at the constructors. Alpine are finished 6th. Ladies and gentlemen, Alpine are finished not last and not in the negatives. So Rev, Rob and Sab, you're getting a shout out, because what on earth is going on in your team? You managed to finish 6th. 3 points ahead of Aston Martin. Well done, boys. You are the sole source of income for Alpine next season. Well done. Let's just give a round of applause to Rev, Rob and Sab, because they have saved Alpine from finishing last in everything. They haven't finished last in Division 1 Constructors. Well done. Right, it's actually the next day of recording this. I ran out of time recording the podcast. I had to do my race. First race on the wheel went okay, only a couple spins, only one broken wing. So actually, to be fair, not that bad of a day, considering it's day 3 on a wheel. And then by the time I'd eaten after the race, it was like 11, so I thought, right, let's just relax. I've not got high enough energy for the podcast. Let's just record tomorrow. It is now tomorrow. Welcome to tomorrow, everybody. It's the 19th of June, and we're going to finish off this OCC. Finish off the podcast with the OCC. Going to run down the teams and my thoughts on how they've done. And of course, like I said earlier, I'll make another podcast over the weekend after budgets are done, all about stats, about budgets, and how I think the teams are going to be doing for next season, which is obviously very important because my opinion is very important. Let's start at the top with Alpine. I haven't actually with Alpine, from McLaren, I should say. Should we work at the top or the bottom? Let me bring the app up real quick because I'm actually not very prepared. I've realised I haven't got the app up already. Let's start at the top. Let's start with McLaren. First of all, what to say about McLaren? What a fantastic season. As I said earlier, it's a little bit of a legacy season on the side of maybe myself and Ransdale and Liam and those who are OGs in McLaren have been here for multiple seasons. But nevertheless, to finish off our big era, our big stint at McLaren with an OCC win is really nice. So McLaren now the first team to have 4 OCCs. Ferrari, of course, have 3. Haas have 1. So it's actually quite nice. That was the goal. That was the dream to finish our nice stint at McLaren and leave it with on a high, and it was a very big high. Of course, winning it in the final round. So I think very, very successful for McLaren. In terms of next season, I'm sure their budget is going to be massive. So whoever takes team principal next season for McLaren will be spoiled for choice. And of course, they have the selling point of the fact that they are the biggest team in XRS. Technically speaking, they are the biggest team in XRS. The only trophy. Oh, and of course as well, with Karma winning Division 5 drivers, McLaren are now the second team to have won one of at least every trophy. So they've never won a Division 5 drivers before. The only trophy left in McLaren's cabinet they didn't have, and now they've got them all. So they are matching Ferrari, having every single trophy available, which is very, very nice. Well done, McLaren. VCARB. I think VCARB has been a massive shock to everybody. I'm going to give my OCC winner to McLaren. I think it's fair, and my OCC loser to Alpine. But to be about VCARB, I think a lot of people underrated and underestimated. What Red Panda could do. Obviously, you could make the case that they wouldn't have been where they were without some signings that would have been moved up in a longer season. But I mean, I guess that's just opportunistic there from Red Panda to find those drivers, realise they're not going to get moved up and stick with them. Paul Diver's a massive shout. I mean, Callum Ansell would have been fine, but he's definitely the fastest driver in the league in terms of performance in Division 1. I mean, even in Division 2, I mean, signing Josko and Yeltsin, who were both very quick, and they proved it on their first race together, getting a 1-2. So I think when I remember looking at the VCARB lineup, I remember not being that impressed, which is why I put them like 6th or something in predictions, which we'll go over at some point as well during this mid-season break. But they've massively impressed. I think that their best divisions for sure were Division 4 and Division 3. Obviously, Callum Ansell performing as well in Division 1. And that just helped them close into the OCC. I never really thought they'd win it, I'll be honest, because there are some weak points. I think McLaren and Mercedes do have a bit of a better lineup. I think Mercedes got quite unlucky in Abu Dhabi. But still, nevertheless, a massive season for VCARB. It's their best ever finish in OCC ever. Before then, it was P3 back in Season 5. And I believe that was when Lassenden was TP of VCARB. He's now TP of Williams. So well done, Red Panda, breaking records already, and took a couple of trophies as well with it. Moving on to Mercedes, like I said earlier, I think it's a bit harsh to say they finished 3rd in the 2-horse race. I think there was always a conversation that VCARB and Williams were in and amongst that fight, and you'd almost argue Red Bull as well. They got very, very unlucky in Abu Dhabi. A lot of just poor performances. We had the Koi 22nd, or 42nd, or whatever it was. Neb spun on his own. The Mercs in Division 4 got close to paying a puncher, or actually did get a puncher in the pits and had to pit. Both Yeet Mix and Formula Viva got wing damage, I think. So to be honest, the only person who really got a good race out of this whole weekend was English and Bath Destroyer. And so, I mean, I think they were, from the performance we saw from Division, from Mercedes this weekend, and how unlucky they've been throughout all of it, I don't think they were ever going to win the OCC. I think they were destined for 3rd or below. but that doesn't represent their season. I think their season's been incredible. They've been very, very strong. They've led the OCC in times. And I think we all know, based on what we know about Mill, he's going to be pushing for OCCs in the future. It's going to be realistically, Mercedes the most surefire, right, who are going to be the next team that dominates. I think the surefire answer, the one that you get the most money, will be Mercedes. Their best OCC finish, joint from last season. They finished third last season and finished third again this season, so well done, Mill. Fourth, Williams, a massive season for Williams. Easily their best they've ever had. Got 2 trophies, nearly got 3, and they were constructors as well, which I'd argue are more difficult to get. Off the back of their last season, when they finished 9th, and they've shot up to 4th, Lasserdon working his magic in that team. And I mean, I said before, I believe that Lasserdon's one of the best TPs in the league, and he's proven that again. Proved it with VCarb earlier in XRS, and he's proved it again with Williams. In terms of Lasserdon as a TP, back when he was VCarb TP and did very well, scored a trophy. After that season, he did drop it. So I think it's a bit difficult to say, okay, Williams are going to be a top team next season if we haven't actually seen Lasserdon consistently being a top team TP because he dropped it. So I can't say for sure that Williams are going to be a top team next season based on that. But it would be interesting to see what Lasserdon can do with multiple consecutive seasons as being a TP. Williams being his own build, his own signings and stuff like that, because a lot of his signings this season have been very, very strong, especially divisions 1 to 3 have definitely been the standout ones. So give him another season where he can continue building his team, and he could very well bring Williams up to the top. But I won't confirm that because it's difficult to say that in the position I'm in now. P5 Red Bull, I think there's a lot of pressure for a brand new team principal who's never been it before. So you come into the role of a team that was fighting for OCCs on multiple seasons before. If people look at Red Bull's season and say that was a disappointment, you're dead wrong, because it's a 6-round season and he's managed to finish 5th. And you got to remember, this is the team that finished 2nd back-to-back, so they are at that point considered a front-running team. And for Worldwide, with a brand new build, his own team, keep them in the top half, I think that's really, really impressive. So I think this has been a good season for Worldwide. I think it's a good TP. I think it'll be interesting to see how he can build that team now that he's got his idea on what to do. Why is there a motorbike going past? What is going on? We had a helicopter the other week. We had cars and motorbikes this week. Mate, you're gonna hear a boat in a minute. Right. Worldwide, well done. Like I said, I'd be interested to see what he can do to his team to continue this streak of good performances and maybe move upwards. Like I've said before, there's not really a defined top teams right now besides maybe Mercedes. Going into next season, and I guess VCarb you can say as well, depending on how Red Panda does it. So if Red Bull can get themselves into that conversation, then that'd be very, very impressive. Red Bull have a bit of history about them. They've got a few trophies to their name, so I think it'd be, and obviously, and Worldwide increased that, with his possession to toss trophy. So I mean, he's clearly got him getting himself on the scoreboard. He clearly cares about the trophies he's winning. So yeah, very successful season for Red Bull. I'm hoping they can push into more the upper midfield and into the OCC fight a bit more next season. But obviously, it will be more difficult with the OCC being a lot longer. It will be probably 14 races, so that's a lot more difficult than a 6-round season. It's double and a bit the length for you to be locked in and applying setups and giving engineers and stuff. So for all these new TPs, because there's quite a few of them this season, and there will be a few next season as well, I think that they have had it easy for a 6-round season. They're about to witness a full season of other TPs pushing their drivers, improving their drivers, including the fact that it's a new game. So there's going to be people who start the game terrible and then start being fast really quickly. In fact, there's going to be more outliers in this season than will be in any. When there's a new game, there's more outliers in the division where they start in the pace of the division and just find lots of pace and start winning. And if you're not the person who has the winning drivers on their team, it's a massive issue for you, because if you look at last season, everyone performed where you'd expect them to perform. Like they were consistently a front runner, or consistently a midfield, or consistently nowhere near the points kind of thing. Whereas next season it's going to be all over the shop, because no one knows what they're doing with battery. Even the esports people, no one knows what they're doing with battery yet. still all just figuring it out and learning it. And secondly, there's so much improvement to be found, because everyone knows day one on the game, that's not how quick you're going to be on the last day of the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's about TPs finding that right choice and the driver that they think is going to be finding that improvement. He's got the most potential. That's the best way to say it. Most potential. For example, myself, I've gone onto wheel, so I'd like to believe that I have a lot of potential. So signing me for whatever division I'm going to go to would be a good call, because I'm going to find the pace I had before on a wheel. So maybe even more pace, hopefully more pace, and that would be a good investment. So it's something for TPs to think about. I think that the first season of a new game is a really, really important one. Moving on to the bottom half, and to say bottom half is disrespectful to Sauber, because they've had a fantastic season. I really, really like Skrata. I think Skrata is going to be a fantastic team principal in the long term. You've got to remember that Sauber have been terrible for a long time. So for him to take them to 6th and beat Ferrari is ridiculous. Obviously, he's going to be Audi next season. He's got a massive pulling factor, the fact that he's going to be Audi, so a lot of people want to join him. I think he's nearly led Sauber to a trophy as well in Division 5, which I think is so impressive. Don Parry being a massive signing. He's got good people around him to help him with setups and stuff like that for coming into the new game. And yeah, like I said, in terms of Sauber, when they've been Sauber, as in not Alfa Romeo, they've never finished above 7th. So their results in the OCC as being Sauber have been 9th, 10th, 9th, 7th. So Thallo's last season was his best, but that's mainly because Aston Martin were terrible. Haas are always just kind of mid. And Williams just didn't perform last season that much because last of them was just TP, so he snuck his way into a P7. Before then, when they were Alfa Romeo, they finished 5th and 2nd. Alfa Romeo were actually a very strong team, but that was a long time ago, and that was also the last time they won a trophy. Alfa Romeo / Sauber have one trophy to their name, so it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see a Sauber and Skrata long-term team principal. I know Skrata has said in the past he wants an all-American team, but he's definitely picked the wrong team to be a TP of, because he should have gone to Haas or Cadillac, but never mind. I actually think Audi are going to be not necessarily a top team next season, but I think they'll be in and amongst the top. I think they'll finish top half, and that's a really, really impressive thing if Skrata's able to do it. Right, the next team kind of hurts, I can't lie. Ferrari, it's been the worst season for Ferrari ever, full stop. Ferrari have never finished outside the top 3. They have finished 7th this season. I think it's fair to say that Raven and Ferrari have been bogged down with a lot of bad luck in terms of drivers giving up, drivers having no interest in the old game, drivers having kit issues, like Tom having wheel issues, and just not being able to fill up his seats in Division 1. Obviously when he's had to reserve in and he's missed the race, getting the times mixed up. I think it's just been a messy season on Ferrari's part, and in 6 races you can't really fix that. If it was a 16-round season or a 14-round season, there are things you can put in place to fix up the season, make some replacements. There's a mid-season window, even like a proper mid-season window, where changes can be made. But with a 6-round season, there's really not much you can do, and Ferrari just had to cling on to what they've got and just hope. I didn't think at a single point in that season, by the end of it, they were going to beat Sauber. Sauber were actually very strong at the end of the season, and Ferrari were never strong. They were struggling from start to finish. P7 is disappointing. I think the big issue they're going to have is the fact that they've got no money. So, and the prize money they're going to get is not much. They've not got that many drivers to re-sign, but even then, Ferrari going from back-to-back OCCs, back-to-back OCCs in Season 6 and Season 7, to having no money and struggling. I actually don't think the Ferrari are going to be a front-running team next season. In fact, I actually don't think they're going to finish even in the top 3. Because I think that there's an element of rebuilding that's going to have to be made now, because they're under financial stress as well. So difficult for Raven, difficult for Ferrari, but I think that if there's any team principal that can bring them out of where they are, it's Raven. But I don't think it'll be an instant just flick a switch and Season 9 they're back at the front again. I don't think Ferrari are going to win an OCC until at least Season 11, or at least challenge for one anyway, because they're just so far behind now. And that is the issue of having one bad season. It goes terribly, terribly wrong when you're used to being at the front. Aston Martin finished P8. Aston Martin have been all over the shop. Between seasons 1 and season 6, they only made improvements. P9, P9, P7, P7, P5, P3, which was very impressive back in season 6. Last season they finished P10 because Jamie just signed the ARS boys and that was never going to work. And they went down to last, and not just last, they finished with 580 points, which is the lowest scoring team per race I think we've ever had an XRS. Let me have a look at the stats. Hold the phone. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it is. That's the lowest score. Oh, no, maybe not. Alpine season 1 was actually worse. But, yeah, very, very bad. They've made themselves up to P8. Kickstrom's gone for 1 season. He's dropped it. He's got had an offer somewhere else. He's valued yet higher than having a TP spot. That's fair enough. To be fair, whoever takes Aston Martin, if they've got pulling power, they're in a good spot because Aston Martin actually have a decent amount of money. Not as much as McLaren, but they have a lot more than a team like Alpine or Cadillac will. So I think that Aston Martin, if you're wanting to be a team principal and rebuild your own team, no pressure, because Aston Martin have been terrible since they had 1 good season in season 6 and they didn't win anything in there. Aston Martin are the only team that have never won something. So if you want a team principal spot that is no pressure, Aston Martin might be the one to go for, because they are pants. P8 is okay, but considering Haas was so irrelevant this season and Alpine just budgeted themselves out of the fight, especially since Aston Martin had a really strong start as well. To finish P8, I think is quite disappointing. In all, I think it's been a negative season for Aston Martin, and they've lost their team principal. So they go through another season of just being kind of anonymous. P9 Haas, I think Haas is the team that has been spoken about the least. Since season 3, Haas have been just quite terrible. They finished P5, P1, and P3 in the first 3 seasons of XRS. And then George shot the TP spot, and they've finished P9, P8, 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 and now it's P9 again. At Haas, again, very low pressure, but they've just gone nowhere. I've heard that Travis had exams. Hoping next season he bounces back and does something with the team, because Haas have been very, very irrelevant this season. I think it's the team that people have spoken about the least because they've just not fought for anything, and they haven't been so bad like Alpine that it's worth talking about. I'm hoping Haas are able to find something because, I mean, they're an OCC winning team, They're the 3rd team, well, I guess the 2nd if you want, one of the 3 teams who has won an OCC. I mean, that's a massive accomplishment. And now they find themselves in the bin consistently every season. So Haas fans, get involved, because what is going on? And P10 is Alpine. Now, at the start of the season in the predictions, I actually predicted them to finish P8 ahead of, I want to say, Haas and Sauber. I can't quite remember actually. I thought the Alpine lineup was good enough to pull back the massive points drop. I was dead wrong. They ended up finishing with 55 points. This is the worst season of XRS ever. The Division 5 was quite poor, the Division 4 was quite poor, and obviously Morgan Hughes dropping it after 1 race just shows the mentality he has. Division 3 was quite poor, Division 2, they only had 1 driver and he barely showed up, and Division 1 was the only saving grace, which is Revrov and Saab. It's going to be their only money income, and Alpine have the least money of any team, I think. Oh no, second least after Ferrari, so those are the 2 teams that are going to be really struggling, Ferrari and Alpine. Alpine obviously have dropped TP, I'm not surprised. Gontimu's a very good TP, but he's made a massive screw up, so I hope he takes TP somewhere else again at some point, but not this season. He needs to wait for the fire to go down. I don't think he'll be allowed another TP spot after what he's done. And whoever takes Alpine TP, again, very low pressure, because we're all expecting them to finish 11th next season. So, whoever can build that team out of the pit they're in, very, very impressive, and you'll be known as a very good TP if you're able to do it. And then finally move on to Cadillac, who, of course, were not classified this season. They will be for next season. They'll probably start about 500 mil, which will be... I'm losing my voice now, goodness me. 500 mil will be probably in the lower end of money that most teams will have by going into the next season in terms of budgets. So we're not expecting a Cadillac to be a top team. If you were looking at just the budgets and what they would be possibly able to build, they'd probably be around P6, P7. However, there's obviously a massive pulling factor for Cadillac. People obviously want to drive the new team, so I think that's quite unlikely. I reckon they're probably going to be top 5. Depends on who goes for TP. I know I've seen a lot of the sign-ups. I've seen Keys gone for it. Keys is a very solid TP, so he could take it. And bring goodness to that team. I think Cadillac will be probably top half, if I'm being real, but we'll have to see after budgets, and we have the conversation, and that will be where they are. I'm very excited to see. Right, thank you everyone for joining me for this podcast. I do apologise it's so late. I've received so many pings, Kiernan. Like, you actually just suck, right? I even saw a ping come up when I've been recording this, right? Just go away, right? Look, as I said at the start of the podcast, we're going to call it Tizza Tuesdays or Tikka Masala Tuesdays. You let me know in the comments which one you want. I'll be much more, prepared for that. Also, in terms of podcasts coming up, I'm going to do one about the budgets and how I think the teams are going to perform next season. At the TPs, it'll be like a season rundown and preparing for next season. And of course, probably do predictions. We'll be doing, some interviews. We're doing all that fun stuff. So make sure you stay tuned. Last season was just me dipping my toe back into XRS Plus. Next season, ladies and gentlemen, XRS Plus is coming back in full form. So keep your eyes, keep your notifications on. I sound like a YouTuber now. And I will be back. I'll see you all very soon. Have a good day.